Since the dawn of time, humankind has gazed at the skies with a single question: how can we fly? It was a dream born of myth, nurtured by imagination, and ultimately achieved by science. From the wings of Icarus to the roar of jet engines, this is the story of aviation, a story of daring, discovery, and boundless ambition. For millennia, humans imagined soaring like birds. The myth of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun, symbolized both the ambition and the danger of flight. But real progress would come centuries later, in 1783, when two French brothers, Joseph Michel and Jacques-Étienne Montgolfier, changed everything. They built the first hot air balloon, a towering sphere of silk and paper. That year, they launched their balloon in front of King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. It soared above the gardens of Versailles, carrying a sheep, a duck, and a rooster, the world's first airborne passengers. For the first time in human history, we had left the ground. Cut to 1903, a small sandy field in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Here, two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright, prepared for a bold experiment. They had built a machine that could not only rise but be controlled, a flying machine with wings and an engine. On a chilly December morning, Orville climbed aboard, lying flat on his stomach, and powered the Wright Flyer into the air. For just 12 seconds, he defied gravity. It wasn't long, but it was the moment that changed everything. The first controlled, powered flight. But how did they do it? The Wright brothers understood the complex interplay of forces that govern flight. Lift, generated by air passing over the curved wings, pushed the plane upwards. Thrust, provided by the engine, propelled it forward. They controlled the plane with wing warping, a system that twisted the wings to maneuver in midair. The science was simple but revolutionary, understanding how to harness air to conquer gravity. Behind every flight lies a delicate balance of aerodynamics, a harmony between four forces: lift, thrust, drag, and weight. Lift is generated by the shape of the aircraft's wings, flat on the bottom and curved on top, creating a difference in air pressure. Faster air over the curved surface means lower pressure, and the higher pressure below lifts the plane. But lift alone isn't enough. To overcome drag, which slows the plane down, you need thrust, the force provided by engines, propellers, or jet turbines. Newton's third law of motion plays its part as well. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. As engines expel exhaust, they push the aircraft forward. The laws of physics have remained the same, but our ability to master them has evolved dramatically. The year is 1958, and the world is on the cusp of the jet age. The Boeing 707 takes its first commercial flight, ushering in an era where distance no longer defined possibility. Suddenly, continents that had once seemed distant and unreachable could be spanned in a matter of hours. The world was shrinking. Yet, the story of aviation has always been intertwined with politics. The Cold War fueled a fierce race for technological supremacy, with the skies as a battleground. It wasn't just about flying faster, it was about projecting power. Both the Soviet Union and the United States poured vast resources into aviation, from supersonic jets to the earliest attempts at space flight. The Concorde, a joint venture between Britain and France, became an icon of technological prestige. Its supersonic flights across the Atlantic carried celebrities and politicians, traveling faster than the speed of sound. But political pressure, rising fuel costs, and environmental concerns grounded this symbol of the jet set age by 2003. By the mid-20th century, aviation was not just for the elite. The rise of commercial airlines like Pan Am and TWA brought air travel to the masses. The introduction of low-cost carriers in the 1970s and 1980s, companies like Southwest Airlines and Ryanair, democratized the skies even further. Suddenly, it wasn't just business travelers and the wealthy who could fly, anyone could hop on a plane. This transformed the global economy. Tourism boomed, international trade flourished, and cultures collided as people experienced distant lands that had once been out of reach. From the Wright brothers' first tentative steps into the air to the promise of interplanetary flight, we have never stopped pushing the limits of what is possible. The journey is far from over, and the skies remain our greatest frontier.